Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's Chamber Check-in time, and welcome to another episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today, I get to share a chamber program with everybody. It's Leadership Boise and its Alumni Association. We have co-president of the association with us today, Chris Monis. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Paul, thanks for having me on.
No, absolutely. Thanks for your service on this association, as well as everything you do for the chamber and your organization. So, Chris, these chamber check-ins are really great ways of sharing our member stories and also to help share a little bit about some of the programming that the chamber offers this community. As you know, Chris, the chamber is an advocacy organization that aims to enhance this place we live, work, and play in. And this is one of the key programs that's nationally recognized that we have put it up against any leadership development program in the country. And since 1975, the Boise Metro Chamber continues to seek out the most energetic and engaged leaders in the Treasure Valley. And it's one of the longest running leadership programs in the country. We've graduated over 1,700 rising and established leaders. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
And you're a graduate as well, right, Chris?
I am. Yeah, I was in class 2019 to 2021, and 2021 is the graduation year.
So you had the big COVID sessions.
Yeah, our class was definitely the first class that had to deal with that, and it was you know, you could say it's a struggle, but it was also an opportunity to practice being a leader and pivoting in a critical time.
Well, thanks for your efforts there. That was a difficult time when you gather people for a living and can't do that anymore. You had to shift the sails quite a bit. But,
Yeah.
the purpose of Leadership Boise is to identify potential leaders and offer programs that will deepen the knowledge and understanding of their community, motivate and encourage participants to assume leadership roles in their community, and provide a platform to meet and exchange ideas with current community leaders. And that's kind of the 30,000-foot view of Leadership Boise. But today we're talking about the Alumni Association. So before we get to that, Chris, why don't you introduce yourself, what your role in the community is? Tell us a little bit about your work, maybe your career that you're involved with, and then what led you into Leadership Boise.
Yeah, I have been doing real estate here in the Treasure Valley since 2015. I'm an associate broker with Fathom Realty. I also mentor new agents at my brokerage. I'm involved with a couple of committees with Boise Regional Realtors, uh, with Idaho Realtors, and a number of other things that I'm involved with. Um, I first heard about Leadership Boise in 2019, and it just really appealed to me. And so I spent a week filling out my application. It is kind of an intense process, and so I took some time and uh, filled out my application and had a great interview and was accepted to the program, which was awesome. And it was it was such a fun experience. You know, some of the Zoom meetings during COVID were not so fun, but uh, overall it was a wonderful experience. And I, at the end, it was kind of this sense of relief that uh, okay, we've done all the sessions, we've done the work because the second year is a lot of work. Uh, so it was paired with relief, but also disappointment, kind of like leaving summer camp as a kid, where you made all these friends and you don't want to leave them. That's how it felt at the end, and so I looked for a way to continue to spend time with my classmates as well as getting to know other classes. As you said, there's over 1,700 participants over almost 50 years, and I really wanted to get as much of this experience as I could, and so I joined the Alumni Association.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared that because you're right. It's a sense of relief, but then also disappointing because you look forward to that monthly engagement with your team. And tell me a little bit about the Alumni Association and kind of the mission and vision of the Alumni Association as co-chair.
Yeah, so I am co-chair of the Alumni Association, or not co-chair, co-president.
Oh,
We're
president. Yeah.
switching it from the chair model to the president. So I am co-president along with Chelsea Miller. The two of us decided to tag team this responsibility because of what we're trying to do with the program, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But I guess Leadership Boise Alumni was formed in 2013 as a network of all Leadership Boise graduates with the goal of supporting the legacy of the LB programs, which include Leadership Boise, but also include Leadership Boise Academy, which is for high schoolers, and identifying leadership needs in our community and building strong relationships. So that's kind of the, as you said, the 30,000 foot purpose of the Alumni Association.
So, as a graduate of Leadership Boise, what would someone expect by participating in upcoming Leadership Boise alumni events?
What would they expect to get out of it? I guess my first answer would be what they put into it. You're only going to get what you put into it. So if you just show up to an event and you don't talk to anybody, you're not going to get much out of it. If you show up and network and talk with people, get to know your fellow alumni, then you're going to get a lot out of it. I think maybe another answer to your question is what sort of things that we do for the Alumni Association. This year, we're really working on creating value for our members, and that looks a lot of different ways. But we've put on some happy hour events this summer, some coffee events. We're planning an upcoming fall retreat for alumni, and what else? We're going to have panels, different speakers. So there's just a lot of opportunities, and there's more on the horizon.
I love it. I'm just going to read a couple things off the Leadership Boise Alumni Association because this it bullets out exactly the mission and the vision. Obviously, Leadership Boise Alumni Association actively contributes to the betterment of the Boise Metro through its diverse network of educated, socially responsible, and engaged civic leaders. And this association meets monthly to ensure the goals of Leadership Boise programs are being accomplished and provide a next level experience for the alumni through programs and services. And all these key areas on leveraging the alumni relationships, experience, and talents to solve community problems, right? I think that's huge for people to know. Enhancing and sustaining the Leadership Boise programs. You mentioned a key one, Leadership Boise Academy, which is kind of a condensed version of Leadership Boise program to juniors in high school. So your chamber is always trying to enhance that next generation of leader all the way drilling down into the high school age. So I think that's key to know. And then obviously awarding and recognizing outstanding community leadership. Businesses are looking for talent out there. And I tell you what, the Leadership Boise program and the Alumni Association have all the talent, right? They're credible people. They're engaged. They're energized. And then obviously developing opportunities for alumni to connect, serve, and lead. And with that, what type of events are on the horizon that we kind of haven't seen in the last few years? Tell us about this next level retreat that y'all are planning.
Well, we're going to have some information about this next level retreat coming out soon, so I don't want to get too much into that, but that is on the horizon. First, I kind of want to take a step back and really quickly talk about what we have been up to, what the Alumni Association's been up to this year. And in order to do that, we got to kind of take a step back and looking at the COVID time. So, like so many other organizations, COVID really damaged our association. And the Alumni Association suffered for a lot of reasons, and the biggest one being COVID. And when our past president, Shira Hotvet, took over in 2022, the alumni was in real trouble. And the meetings were just attended by a few dedicated individuals. And the Alumni Association was struggling to gain any sort of traction. And under her leadership and the selfless work of many people, and of course the support from the chamber, we've been rebuilding this program, and we identified a few goals that we wanted to accomplish this year. Things like, and this is not super sexy but very important, was the need to create a manual or some sort of articles of association, which is what we came to realize is a very critical part of our foundation and would allow future leaders in the Alumni Association to further the impact of the program. So that was critical, and that's something we've been working on. We also identified that our database of over 1,700 graduates was incomplete and needed to be updated. And of course, our membership was really low, so we needed to increase that, which meant increasing the value that we were giving our members. And lastly, we recognized that what we were trying to do was so massive we couldn't do it ourselves. And so we organized a structure for members to get involved by creating 5 work teams: membership and outreach, communications and marketing, events, fall retreat, and community engagement. And things have been going great. Real quick, I'll just say that these work teams have been killing it. The membership and outreach has done a phenomenal job at collecting and updating contact info of LB graduates. Communication marketing team has been posting to our accounts on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, which everybody, LB graduates should definitely follow it and get on so they can get updates about what's going on. And that team has also been writing some awesome email newsletters and are beginning to include member spotlights in each of those newsletters. So if you're an LB alumni member and you want you or your business to be featured in a newsletter, just fill it out and we'll write something up. The events team planned and executed June events, which had great attendance and connected a lot of classes together. The fall retreat has been taking on a monumental task of planning our first ever alumni fall retreat. And like I said, we'll send out more information very, very soon. And community engagement team has been working hard to find opportunities for alumni to give back to our community. We have also been partnering with Leadership Boise and Leadership Boise Academy to get involved with the interviews. And there's even more potential opportunities to get involved with those two that are on the horizon. And, you mentioned it a few minutes ago when you said that the 1,700 people that have graduated from the program, they're amazing people. They put the work into completing the program. They've already been identified as leaders in our community. And the Alumni Association being able to tap into that incredible resource of 1,700 people that care deeply about their community is so important. And, there's so much potential that we can do with this program. And it's been really beautiful to see so many people working towards a shared vision of what this program can be.
Wow. Thanks for that understanding, Chris. I would say first steps for anybody who's interested is to check out the Leadership Boise Alumni Association website. It's under the programs tab here at the metrochamber.org website. And I want to thank our LB alumni sponsor. It's Idaho First Bank as well. That, Todd Cooper and Shannon Stoger know exactly how important this program is, and thank you to their commitment as well to continue supporting the program for these educational opportunities.
We greatly appreciate your support. And we're looking for more.
So how does an alumni get involved? How do they connect? How do they reconnect with y'all?
Yeah, great question. As mentioned before, social media is a great way to see what's going on. LinkedIn and Facebook, we have closed groups there, and we also just started up an Instagram page. And also, probably one of the best things that people can do, past graduates, is update your contact information, which I don't know. Did we post the link for that somewhere? I think the link that's scrolling under the screen right now. But if you just go to the Chamber website, Leadership Boise Alumni, update your information. That is critical. We can't tell you about what's going on if we don't have a way to reach you. So that's huge. And then, obviously, become a member, if you see the value in what we're doing.
Yeah, Karen Stewart is our new program director for Leadership Boise Young Professionals, and she's mentioned a few things here that I think should be said here. The professional development workshops are important to know that the Alumni Association can take part in. Plus, there's a couple of holiday parties too coming up. Those are always fun. And mentioned the annual reception at the beginning of the year and the reunion at Leadership Boise graduation, which is a great gathering of past, present, and future Leadership Boise participants.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That is just a gathering of that next generation of thought leaders in our community. And then, dues. What do alumni pay for dues every year?
So there's two options. You can do $50 for 1 year or $140 for 3 years. So there's a little bit of a discount. If people are concerned about, maybe they switch jobs and their current job isn't a member of the chamber, well, I know that you would say, well, let Paul know, and we'll get him to be a member. But to be a member of the Alumni Association, you do not have to be a chamber member. So that, we didn't want that to be a barrier of people joining the Alumni Association.
No, that's great. You had mentioned the retreat, and I just kind of want to let people know that the first big event of Leadership Boise is a few days out of town with a group of people you don't know. It's all confidential. You don't know who each other are and who do you work for. And you do these team building exercises with each other for a day and a half. I know it's not ropes course, but things that I remember in the past are building a boat out of cardboard and duct tape, right, as a team. and then at the end, you get to come and really on the podium one at a time, introduce yourself to the group and your title or role that with the business that you're in. And I think that's really cool that you're reigniting that type of retreat again to re-engage with the alumni.
Absolutely. I mean, that is, there's a reason that retreat is mandatory for LB participants, because it's so critical. If the program allowed people to miss that event, that would be terrible, because it's such a fun event. You really leave that event feeling like you know your class, you've bonded with them. My class did the high ropes course at Camp Y. We did not have the opportunity to do the cardboard boats, although that would have been fun. But we did, zip lining, we did archery tag, a lot of team building activities. So it was so much fun. And anytime we talk to people about the LB program, one of the main things that people talk about is, oh my gosh, the retreat was so much fun. It's such an important memory for people when they look back at their experience. And so we absolutely wanted to bring back that sort of nostalgia while also providing, creating value for people through speakers and team building. So, while it may look different than the LB retreat, we're still trying to bring some of that nostalgia back.
I love it. Chris, thanks for your leadership as co-president on the Alumni Association. While I have you for just the last minute or two, what else would you like to educate the listeners on about Leadership Boise Alumni Association?
Yeah, well, first off, before I forget, I just want to give a shout out to Karen as well. She's been incredibly supportive, and she sent in these messages to remind me. There's so much going on that sometimes I have a hard time remembering everything that we're trying to do. But if you are a graduate of the Leadership Boise program and you're curious about what the Alumni Association is doing, reach out to us. Come to one of our monthly meetings. We meet the second Tuesday of every month at the chamber from 12 to 1:30. If you're curious about that, update your information so we can send you stuff about what's going on. There is so much that we're doing currently and plans for the future, and this is going to be a very robust program. That is the vision and goal, and that's what so many people are working so hard to accomplish. And if you're not a graduate of Leadership Boise, but you want to somehow be involved, we would love to talk about sponsorship opportunities. We're trying to really stabilize and grow this organization, this program, and sponsorship is critical. So if any companies are looking for ways to get out there and get in front of some influential people, this would be a great way to do that. Yeah, so just reach out to us. There's many different ways to do that. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, right from that website, there's a way to join the Alumni Association or register for the retreat. There's a calendar of events as well. And then you can update your information by just sending an email to lbaa@boisemetrochamber.org. So lbaa@boisemetrochamber.org. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate having you part of the chamber. You're always a quick-witted guy. I always love our tips groups meetings. You actually named you coined our tips group the Spartans, and that is held really well. My friend, thank you so much for your time today.
Paul, thanks so much for having me on and giving us the opportunity to talk about the Alumni Association and what we're doing with it.
You bet. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.